Okay, so we are going to start. Okay, I'm Mr. Martin. I'm the head of studies of the Master in Electronic Engineering at the UPC, and I will present the details about this master. Okay, so the session will be recorded, and if you don't want to show your name or any background, so just change the configuration of your browser. Okay, so this is the outline of the presentation. I will, as I told you, I will describe the master in electronic engineering. And after this description, quite detailed, all the description, I will show you the requirements to follow this master and a brief explanation about the teaching activities nowadays in this semester. Okay, but hopefully this is because the COVID configuration and so on, but hopefully in the next semester, everything will be as usual. Okay, so but anyway, I will remark this. So we will start with the description of the master. So the master in electronic engineering has a wide approach to electronics. Okay, so it's not a master focused on a particular part of the electronics, but tries to cover most of the contents or most of the contents of the electronics. So you will see that there are contents about power electronics, there are contents about radio frequency analog circuits, something about instrumentation, systems, sensoring, micro and nanoelectronic devices, all about digital circuits, embedded systems, programming, and all about also integrated circuits. Okay, and there's also a competence defined on management. Okay, because at the end, if you want to be an engineer, it's important to have some concepts about management. So as you can see, it's a wide master. And once you have decided that this is a good approach, why it's or the master in electronic engineering is a good choice? Well, at the end, historically, all the students that have finished this master has had a lot of very easy introduction to the market, to the labor market. The employability rate in the last poll from the Generalitat de Catalunya in 2020 was 93.3%. Of the students that finish the master and they are working in full time. This means that they are working full time at the end of the master, but I must tell you that nowadays, most of the students, more than half of the students, they are already involved with companies before finishing the master. Okay, because the companies, they want to attract all this talent as soon as possible. Okay, so there are internships in companies, as you will see. There are the possibility to do the master thesis in companies. Okay, and at the end, well, the problem at the end is to finish the master, okay? Because you are enrolled in the company, you are earning money. There are a lot of very interesting projects in companies, but at the end you have to finish the academic part too, okay? So, well, you can see the values are very nice, okay? And the companies are, I would say, very happy with our students, okay? Because we have students working in companies, and these companies, they are asking us for new students from the same master, so they are happy with them, okay? Apart from this employability, we are doing this for more than 25 years, meaning that we are teaching all these contents, okay, in different configurations of master, second degree, or whatever, but we know how to do it in this school. And another, I would say, relevant information, as an example, is that Hewlett-Packard has chosen our master as the master to train its electronic engineers, okay? So, as I told you, the company goes to the bachelor degree. Typically, they contract the highest performance students, okay? And with this bachelor degree, they are in the company. And while they are working in the company, they are enrolled in our master to follow the master in electronic engineering, okay? So Hewlett-Packard has identified us as the good master for that, okay? So I think that this makes sense. I mean, I'm not in an impartial position because I'm the head of studies, but I think that the master makes sense. Okay, so the admission of the master, if you are coming from a Spanish university, basically you need the bachelor degree. But nowadays the rules have changed a little bit, and you can come to the master even if you have not defended the master, the bachelor degree thesis. Okay, so if you are still enrolled in the bachelor thesis and you have not finished it, you can come to the master and start the master. Okay, this is new from this year. If you are not coming from a Spanish university, well, basically you need a bachelor degree, and this bachelor degree should provide access to a master degree in the country which it was awarded. Okay, so if you are coming from I would say, countries out of Europe, okay, then you have to demonstrate that this bachelor degree also allows you to go to a master in your country, okay. Regarding the English level, we are asking a level B2, okay, and here there is a thorough table with all the possibilities to demonstrate this level. This means that this is because basically all the master is taught in English, so you must understand the lectures. And this level, if you have a certification, it's okay. If you don't have a certification, well, just talk to me, okay? Because the point is to demonstrate that you can follow the lectures, okay? So if you don't have a official certification, and maybe you are watching the series on TV in English, or you are coming from England or from India, obviously you don't have a certification of B2 because your English is your mother tongue, okay? So just the point is to understand the classes, okay? So don't be afraid to come if you don't have this certification, but you obviously you need a good or a high level of English, okay, to come. The suggested profiles of access, typically students are coming with the engineering of electronic systems, okay, the one that you are doing. The people that's here in the audience, typically they have this bachelor degree. Also, you have some students, or we have also some students coming from the degree in engineering of industrial electronics and automatic from the Escola del Besós, typically, okay, or Terrassa. And then, apart from them, we can also admit students from other ICT bachelor degrees, okay, like telecommunications degree, audiovisual systems, telematics. Okay, so all of this, which is, I would say, ICT, information and communication technology, can come to our master. And specifically in the last years, we have had also students from biomedical engineering, okay, because there is a part of biomedical electronics and sensors in the master. And well, at the end, they can also come. There are also some students from engineering physics, okay, which I think is something related to applied physics, more or less, maybe if you don't know it. And we have had in the past some students coming from nanoscience and nanotechnology bachelor degree in autonoma. Okay, so as you can see, the profiles of access are quite, I would say, wide. Okay, but typically, as I told you, electronic systems and industrial electronics and automatic. Okay, the master structure is the one that you can see here. The master has a big box of 35 credits of compulsory subjects. Okay, so these are the subjects that you must pass for sure. And then you have a box of elective subjects, 35 credits maximum. Okay, and finally a master thesis of 20 credits. At the end, you have 90 credits, so 1 year and a half. Okay, this is the design of the master. You see here that there is a red box, which is called bridge courses. Okay, these bridge courses are courses that some students need to levelize the knowledge before going into the compulsory subjects. Okay, because the subject is defined especially for the students that are following the electronic system degree in this school. Okay, so the students that are following this degree, we know what they know. Okay, and we are designing this master with basically these students in mind. Okay, but if you are coming, for example, from from industrial electronic and automatic, you know a lot about power electronics, you know a lot about control, but probably you don't know too much about semiconductors or integrated circuits or programming FPGAs or embedded systems. Okay, so typically you need some bridge courses to be sure that you have the background necessary for the corresponding compulsory subject. These bridge subjects don't extend the length of the master. They are included in these 90 credits. So the way to include these bridge courses is that these courses are going to use credits from the elective box. This is why the elective box is here. You can see maximum 35 credits, because this is the case without any bridge course. If you are doing some bridge courses, for example, 2-3 courses, then you have to remove or to move part of these credits to this red box. Okay, so the maximum is 35 elective, but maybe here at the end you have available only 20 because 15 are used here in the bridge courses. Okay, you understand? But at the end, 90 credits for all the students. Okay. Okay, so this is the typical structure for students that they don't do any bridge course. Okay, so the students that can go directly to the core of the master. the core of the master, these students for the core of the master typically are the ones coming from the electronic engineering degree, bachelor degree in this school. Okay, so as you can see, there are 6 subjects focused on electronics that cover devices, power and control, instrumentation, digital systems, digital microelectronic and analog microelectronic circuits. And this is the core subjects. And additionally, we have this green subject here, which is focused on entrepreneurship. Okay, so this subject plus the 6 of electronics, at the end, these 7 subjects are the core of the master. So these are the ones that you must pass for sure. Okay, so apart from these compulsory subjects, we have an elective box here that can be done in the second semester, 25 credits, and an additional elective box here, 10 credits in the third semester that can be enrolled simultaneously to the master thesis. Okay, so this is the design of the master, but it doesn't mean that you have to follow exactly this path. Okay, so everything is flexible. For example, more than half of the students nowadays, they are working and studying all together. So if you work part-time, you cannot follow this because it's too much. Okay, so for students that are working, which is, I would say, very common, typically the enrollment is 3-4 subjects every semester. So if you enroll 3-4 subjects every semester, obviously you cannot follow this pace. Okay, so typically you will need an additional semester here. Okay, but obviously you are working. Okay, so you are not able to use all the time for the master. Okay, so this means that at the end, well, you need an additional semester. I will also tell you the advantages of working, because if you are working, you have some advantage from the master because you can recognize some credits. Okay, and you can get rid of some elective credits. Focusing on the electronic subjects, well, I'm going to describe a little bit the subjects. There's a subject focused on analog microelectronic circuits. Okay, so here we are working basically in transistor level about electronics and how this analog electronics is integrated into the silicon. Here there is some lab work based on simulations in Cadence. Maybe you have heard about it or you have used it. Okay, and here we are doing a lot of work about this. Okay. Here we have another subject, which is high-level digital design. And this subject is focused on embedded systems, programming of embedded systems. Okay, so programming basically FPGAs. Okay, and also something about microcontrollers, all about real-time operating systems. Okay, and well, this is very, very useful for the companies because this approach of FPGAs is very common in companies because it's a good trade-off between velocity, speed of processor, and cost. If you want to do something very fast, typically you have to define or to design a specific integrated circuit, and then it's very fast because it's designed for your specialty application, but it's very expensive. And if you want to do it very cheap, then you can use a microcontroller and then programming the microcontroller, and it works, but it's quite slow. But in between, all this about FPGAs, real-time operating systems, and everything is very common for many, many applications, video applications, and something like this. Okay, so this subject is very useful for the companies. Another subject about control applications for power electronics. Okay, so all about power electronics, switching, and control. Okay, which is also very, very useful. Electronic measurement science and technology. We have a very strong research group in the department focused on electronic measurements and biomedical engineering. And this subject is the compulsory subject, which is divided into 2 parts. The first part is about instrumentation systems, and the second part is about sensoring and signal conditioning and so on. Okay, here we have also some lab work, and what you are using instrumentation and programming the instrumentation with LabVIEW, and what this is also very nice. Nanotechnologies and electron devices. This is the subject that is close to the physics. Okay, to the silicon, to the semiconductor. And here we are discussing about field effect transistors, power devices, fabrication technologies. It's interesting because we have a clean room facility in our lab, and we are fabricating devices there, basically on about photovoltaics. Okay, but well, you can come to this subject, learn a lot about technology and semiconductors, and then if you are interested, you can go to the master thesis and do the master thesis in the clean room, or any other possibility that I will show you later. Okay. This is a nanoelectronic design. This is similar to the other microelectronic subject, but the previous one was focused on analog devices, and here we are focusing on digital nanoelectronic design. Okay, so basically VLSI integration from the point of digital circuits. Okay, so delays. This is also using cadence for the simulations, but they are going to be not only in the transistor level, but they also go into the layout. Okay, so the size of the transistors, the size of the tracks. If you want to integrate a resistor, how to integrate the resistor on the silicon. So it's also very, very interesting. Okay, so these are the 6 subjects about electronics, but here we have an additional subject about management. This subject is, well, as you can see here, we are trying to teach some concepts about management, and we are including here all about business plan, service quality, and also here we are introducing all about environmental issues. Okay, and well, at the end it's important also for electronics, because well, at the end we have an impact onto the planet and the environment, so this is included in this subject. Okay. Okay, so these are the compulsory subjects, but apart from these compulsory subjects, I want to explain you these special subjects that they have limited places. Okay, but they are quite interesting because these are subjects focused on a project-based learning approach. Okay, so there is a project. The project typically is defined by companies. You can see here some companies that they have been involved in these subjects. Okay, and the companies they propose a project, a product. Okay, and then typically there is in the team you have to mix electronic engineers. Okay, business students. Okay, and design students that are studying design. Okay, of the product. So the design students, they design the product and all about the marketing and so on, the business plan, the economy, and the electronic take care of the hardware. Okay, and all the engineering part. Okay, so this is very interesting because the project is real, I would say. There is 2 subjects. The first one is I2P. Okay, where we are involved more, I would say, close to Barcelona. Okay, so here we have the ESADE Business School, and I don't know if it's the design school is not written anywhere, but it's also from Barcelona. And there is a second possibility, which is CBI at CERN. Okay, where the team is international. Okay, this is focused focus on the CERN in the particle accelerator in Geneva in Switzerland. Okay, and there you have to go there for 2 weeks at the beginning to form the team and know the project, and then you can work from home, and finally you have to go back there to present the results. Okay, so this is also very nice, but as I told you, these are limited places. Okay, so if you want to come to the subjects, just talk to Ramon Bragos, which is the responsible for that. Okay. Okay, so these are the subjects, compulsory subjects, and these special subjects. And now we move on to elective credits. The elective credits, you can use these credits for different subjects. For example, the first option is bridge courses. So bridge courses, as I told you, review fundamental concepts needed for the core subjects if you don't know it. And then these courses are assigned by the academic commission. This is tricky because the academic commission will take a look to your profile, to your transcript of records, and then with this information, they must decide if you know enough to do, I don't know, the electronic device subject. Okay, if you know enough about semiconductors. And this is sometimes tricky because the information from the transcript of records, maybe it's, I have done electronic 1, electronic 2, electronic 3, and electronic 4, which are 4 subjects about electronics, but you don't know what is behind this. Okay, so if you can provide additional information about the contents of the subjects, it will be very nice. Okay, in particular for the students that are not coming from this school, because if you are coming from the school here, we know what you know. Okay, but if you are coming from abroad or other schools, it's important for the academic commission to have this information. Then once you know more or less this, or we know this information, and we decide to assign you some bridge courses, here there are 5 bridge courses that are possible. One about semiconductors, one about power electronics, one about measurement systems, another one about digital electronics, so meaning basically VHDL programming of FPGAs, and finally one about introduction to microelectronic design. Okay, So these subjects are linked to a corresponding compulsory subject. Okay, for example, if you don't know too much about devices, then probably you must do this fundamental of semiconductor bridge course. Okay, and the same happens with power and control, instrumentation, the digital programming of embedded system with the corresponding of VHDL. Okay, the introduction to VHDL, and the fundamentals of microelectronic circuits. This information is needed for the two compulsory subjects. Okay. The point is that these bridge courses, as I told you, is difficult to be accurate. Okay, so the academic commission will assign the courses, but maybe you know the contents of the bridge course. Okay, or maybe you are not assigned the course, and then you go to the compulsory subject and you don't understand anything the first session, and you say, this is too much for me, I want to do the bridge course. Everything can be changed. Okay, so the assignment of the academic commission is a first approach. And the enrollment, the real enrollment, firstly must be agreed with the supervisor. Okay, the supervisor, it's a professor from the master that you will be assigned at the beginning of the admission. When you are admitted to the master, you have a supervisor, and you must go every semester to the supervisor to agree with him or her the corresponding enrollment. Okay, so if you go to the supervisor and you see that the contents of the bridge course, you have already seen this, then just change the enrollment with the supervisor, and then you don't need to do this bridge course. Okay, and then even if you go to the corresponding bridge course or the compulsory subject the first week, and you see that this is not the level that you expect, maybe it's too low, maybe it's too high, then you can still change your enrollment during the first week. Okay, so just the point is to optimize the track of the student in the master, and don't lose or don't waste money or time doing something that you know, or doing something that it's impossible to pass because you don't have the background. Okay, so try to optimize your chance here, your options. Okay, this is another structure, just as an example for the typical students coming from industrial electronics and automatic degree. They do these 3 bridge courses about fundamental semiconductors, the VHDL programming, and the fundamentals of microelectronics. So even with these 3 bridge courses, you can still finish the master in 3 semesters. Okay, the first semester, obviously, you have to do these 3 bridge courses. And because of these 3 bridge courses, there are 4 compulsory subjects that are shifted to the next semester. Okay, so these compulsory subjects are shifted 1 semester, but you still can enroll instrumentation and power and control and the one about management. Okay, because these students typically they know enough for doing these subjects. So in the next semester, you can finish the core subjects. You have a box for elective subjects, and in the 3rd semester, you have again another box for selective subjects and the master thesis. Okay, so you still have, as you can see, 20 credits for elective subjects. Okay. Okay, so this is the first option for elective credits, these courses, but you can do something else. For example, seminars. Okay, seminars are like elective courses that are taught in February and July after the exams. Okay, so if you want, you can go on holiday, but if you don't want to go on holiday and you are very fond of electronics and you can keep studying, then you can stay here and do some intensive course about, for example, in February, we have one about printed circuit board design, which is full every February because this is very useful. Okay, and in July, we have something about Internet of Things and social for dummies. But apart from these, which are the most specific for electronics, you have some other transversal seminars about funding or data processing or something like this. You can take a look to the webpage. Okay. Apart from these seminars, there are classical, I would say, elective courses that you can click here in the link, and you will see the list and the contents. But here I have just grouped the subjects in 4 boxes. One about energy management, another one about micro nanotechnologies, another one about biomedical engineering sensors and integrated systems. And basically, these boxes are indicating a group of subjects, elective subjects, that follow more or less the same contents. Okay, so there are subjects that can be shared between boxes. For example, this one about Edison, energy management for distributed and integrated systems, obviously can be included into this energy management box in blue color. And simultaneously, because it's energy in integrated systems, this means that here you are not going to work with kilowatts or megawatts. You are going to work with microwatts or nanowatts because you are trying to understand the power in integrated circuits. Okay, so here you have some integrated systems. So is part of this box. You can see, well, you can choose whatever you want. There is no limitation. The only point to grouping the subjects is to identify the subjects and to make easier the decision to choose, okay? But there is no limitation. You can do whatever you want, okay? The point is that from the point of view of the school, if the student has followed a minimum of 15 credits in one of the boxes, then you will get at the end of your master a document from the school certifying that you have followed the path of energy management or micro nanotechnologies or whatever, okay? Anyway, the companies, I haven't heard ever something from companies asking for a specific engineering that have followed a track of, they want an engineering that have finished the master, the compulsory part, because at the end, the specific contents that they need, they will teach this in the company, okay? So don't be, I would say, don't be too worried about these options, okay, of the certification of the particular track, okay? But if you follow this and you have fulfilled this requirement, then you will have the certification. There is a joker in all this. The joker is the introduction to research. This is a subject that is 10 credits, okay? So twice as a typical subject, and is more or less like a small master thesis, okay? So in this case, the student is introduced to research, okay? So he's introduced into a research group in the department, and then you are going to develop a research activity there, and at the end, you have to present your results and so on, okay? Depending on the topic of the introduction to research, depending on the topic on the introduction to research, then this subject can be included in any of the boxes. Okay, if you are doing something about microelectronics, so it's included in the box. If it's anything else, okay, so you can use these credits for any of the boxes, okay, and you can fulfill these 15 credits. Okay. Okay. So finally, to fulfill these 35 credits, apart from bridge courses, seminars, elective courses, you can do internships in companies, okay? So internships in companies, as I told you, is very common, and you can do curricular internship, which at the end you are doing 300 hours at the companies, and you get 10 credits from the elective credits box, okay? And this is quite short, I would say, because 300 hours, when you go to the company and you try to learn what's going on in the company, and then you start to work in a project, the 300 hours are finished. And when it's really starting the work, probably you have to extend, and it's very common too, to extend this internship to up to 1,200 hours, okay? You earn some money for these hours. The minimum is 10 euros per hour, okay? So you are starting to earn money, okay? And well, at the end, another extension very common is to do the master thesis. Okay, so this is why I told you that most of the students are involved in companies before finishing, because they start into the internships in company. They like the company, they like the project, they extend the internship, they do the master thesis there. Okay, the point of extending the master thesis is that at the end, if you are doing this path, which is as I told you very common, you can do this third semester fully in the companies. Okay, you start in the company doing this box for elective subjects as internship in companies, and then when you finish the internship in companies, then you extend your learning agreement for the master thesis. Okay, so you can do this fully in the companies, and the master is just 1 year, okay, of teaching. Okay. Francesc Rey is responsible for that, and you have a link here for all the details. And another point is, if you are already working in an ICT company, then you can also get some credits because of this working experience. But this is something that is, I would say, more disadvantageous than the previous one, because here, if you want to get these 10 credits, you have had worked 2,666 hours. Okay, so it's 1.5 years full time. Okay, but this makes sense, because sometimes the students finishes the bachelor degree, they go to the companies, they work there for 1 to 3 years, and after that they want to come to the master, and then doing this you can remove somehow 10 credits from the elective box. Okay, yeah? So this is something that it's also interesting for particular cases. One important information is that the internships in companies, the recognition of credits for working experience and introduction to research are incompatible, okay? Because at the end, they are like different choices for the same box. I mean, you have 10 credits and you can follow the internships in companies. You can follow, no, I have already worked in companies in the past, or you can follow, no, I'm more close to academic path and I want to do research in the university, okay? So you have to choose. Next, mobility, it's also possible, okay? The elective subjects from other masters can be also chosen under tutor supervisor. So other masters means typically masters from this campus, from the computer school. Some students, maybe they have done something in industrial engineering too, okay? So this is also possible, and you can also go abroad, okay? Going abroad typically is for doing elective courses and or master thesis, okay? If you are not doing elective courses and you are doing compulsory subjects, then you have to talk with me, because the one that you choose there must be more or less the same that the compulsory subject that you have to do here, okay? But if you are doing elective subject, it doesn't matter too much, okay? You can choose anything about electronics or even engineering, okay? The International Mobility Office, the responsible is Jose Antonio Lázaro, and I know he does some specific presentations about mobility, okay? So if you want to come, just contact him and be aware about this presentation. The mobility, typically, as I told you, is possible in this third semester, okay? So you can start the master, okay? And then you can, when you start the master here in fall, typically fall semester, you have to start this process, okay? Because you have to ask for the Erasmus Plus grant and so on to choose the university, and then typically you go in this third semester to the university abroad, okay? So well, this is also possible, and we also have 2, 3, 4 students abroad every year. Okay, sources of information, we have the webpage that I'm sure that you know. I'm the head of studies, and I will be happy to answer any question about the academic procedure in the master. The academic secretary is here in the B3 building, okay? For the students that are in Barcelona, they can come. And here in the webpage, you can also find a lot of information in the Secretary Oberta, okay? And there is a email address for anything about the master, okay? Okay, so once I have described the master, I will explain a little bit about requirements to follow the master very quickly, because they are quite easy. The academic requirements is that you must pass 15 credits in one academic year, 2 semesters. Okay, this is the minimum performance. If you have not fulfilled this, well, you have a problem. Okay, then you have to ask for an additional semester, trying to explain why didn't you pass 15 credits. 15 credits is three subjects in 1 year, so it's a minimum, very minimum, I would say. And once you have fulfilled this, then you have up to 8 natural years to finish the master, which is a lot. Okay. And for foreign students, well, you must have permission to stay in the country. So apart from the academic requirements, you must fulfill all the requirements as any other foreigner. Okay, so you have to go to police, and well, there are a lot of requirements. You need some letters, okay, from our part, demonstrating that you are enrolled in the master and so on. And anyway, all these details can be asked to the mobility office, okay, International Students Office, or the OMI, which here you can find the email address, and below there is a link, okay. And anyway, just for your information, if you are coming from abroad, typically it's not necessary to enroll 13 credits, so 6 subjects every semester. And it's not necessary to pass all the subjects, but it's much better if you have enrolled 25 credits, for example, and you pass 90% of subjects. Then you are demonstrating that you are studying, and the police wouldn't say anything about this. Okay, but this is just for information of foreign students. Okay. Okay, and finally, teaching activities for this spring. Just to mention that we have passed all these COVID limitations, which were very tough, but the lectures were configured online, and it worked very well. And now all the professors, they have quite a lot of contents online, and this is good, okay, at the end. But nowadays, we have all the theory lectures face-to-face. The lab work is also face-to-face. We have quite a lot of lab work, as you have seen in many subjects. And the exams are also face-to-face, okay? So the only restrictions nowadays is that, well, we are Now, this last week or in the last 2 weeks, we are not the wearing the face mask is not mandatory. Okay. Well, and the windows are typically open for to make it more healthy. Okay. And that's all. Now Sonia will explain this. He's the responsible of all the administrative procedures of the master. Okay, and she will explain a little bit about that.
Okay, thank you. I hope you can hear me properly. Okay, welcome all of you. Thank you, Isidro. I will just point out the most important things you should know with the... Okay, this presentation, first of all, I already wrote it in the chat, but for those in the room, this presentation will be sent to you. So you will have already available all the links. So later on, you can go through all of them and can review all the information, okay? So if you see it in blue, it means that it's a direct link to our website where you can find all the information. So feel free just to browse and see. Okay, he already explained to you, it's already open, the pre-enrollment procedure now, and it will close on July 4th. But I strongly recommend you not to wait for the last day, please, because usually it's not difficult, but at least you need 3 days to get all the credentials in order to have access to the Sistema de Preinscripció, which is a platform. And there you will have to upload all the academic information. So please, at least 1 week, you will need for sure to do all the procedures. And then if the documents are correctly uploaded, then we will validate you only administrative, okay? And then we will, if everything is correct, we will inform to the admission commission, okay, about your request. And from that on, then you can have either the admission confirmed, then you will have to accept this place, or I hope not. Sometimes we have bad news, but I hope all of you will be admitted soon. So if this is the thing, when you are admitted, you will have to accept this place, and then we will give you credentials to the e-secretaria. You will have another file there, and then you will find, for the admission procedure, you have to pay 30 euros, which is not refundable, okay? But then once you are admitted and you accept this place, you will have to pay 300 euros. It's like an advance of your enrollment. And this will be deducted from your enrollment in September, okay? Just for you to let you know that it will be around 20th, by the end of July, the publication of the admission resolution list, the official one, okay? But you will probably sooner than that know about your decision. And there, along with this publication, you will find all the information with the enrollment details. So here you will be assigned a tutor, and he or she will help you which subjects are more advisable. And there are also, if you need to do some specific subjects and so, you will have all this information there. Okay, that will be all in this part. Just for you to let you know that this master degree is possible also to start in February. So if this is your case, please do not do the pre-enrollment now. Wait until November 1st, and then we will open it until the end of beginning of December. And then on January, you will have the admission resolution, and then you can start the classes on February. But this is important, please, because if you now do the request, and then you say, no, I will enroll in February, you will have to pay again either a reservation place, which is 90 euros, so it's more advisable not to do so. Okay, just for your stuff. The required document, if you are from the UPC, it really depends on where you have earned your bachelor degree. If you are from the UPC, we already have all your academic information. So you just need to upload a curriculum vitae, an updated one. If you want a motivation letter or some recommendation letter, if you want, you can upload them, no problem, but they are not compulsory. It's compulsory the B2 certificate of English, and that would be all, and the curriculum vitae, okay? If you are coming from another public university in Spain, of course, besides that, we need the transcript of record. And this is very important to have the most updated one. We are aware that you are finishing probably your bachelor thesis, or you are finishing this year, so it won't be the last one. but we need the most updated one because the admission committee, it's very important. They need to see all the optional subjects you have been taking through your bachelor degree. So it's very important for you to inform. And of course, we need to see that the pending credits makes possible for you to get your bachelor diploma this semester. If not, it's not possible to admit you, okay? So if you don't have your bachelor diploma because you are finishing, no problem, but upload please the transcript records, okay? And if you are now from abroad, any university from abroad, if it's in the community, in European community education system, then it's not necessary to have these documents legalized. We just need the official one. But if it's not in the European community, then besides all of this, we need this to legalize.
Hi ha gent pel xat que diu que no s'escolta bé.
Pero digo que sí que se escucha, ¿eh?
Ara sí?
Sí.
Vale, és que estem tenint...
Puede ser que no, ya se haya parado. A ver por aquí.
A ver, is it better now? Okay.
Siento que ya está.
Sí, esto no tiene batería.
Come
on, sí.
o algo.
So I hope, yeah? Bueno, a ver qué dicen.
Ahora mejor.
Okay,
Sí, sí.
if it's better, okay,
Yes,
thank you.
I'm
So
better.
I was telling about the legalization of the academic documents. So it was just to point out for those of you coming from non-European countries, they should be legalized. We are aware that it takes some time and is expensive. So it's not necessary to do it now if you haven't finished your bachelor degree. But as soon as you finish, then for the enrollment authorization, it will be compulsory. So now you may be validated temporarily, and I will say that the legalization is compulsory, okay? Also, it's important if you can send the equivalents of the rating system, and very useful for the admission committee to have the description of the subjects or some link where they can see the content of each subject. This is very important. And the most information you give them, the better, because they will advise you better about which subjects to take, okay? And finally, all of the students, just be aware that we need all those documents. When you ask for the secretary of your universities, we need the digital signature. So now, please, when you ask for them to give you the bachelor transcript or your title, ask them to have a digital signature. And then you have to upload this in the system. If you don't do so in September, I won't authorize you to enroll until I see the original documents. So it's a waste of time. For those of you who are taking a bachelor degree and you think you may have a beca of Ministerio de Educación, very, very, very important. This year is the first year that the deadlines are now. You only have 10 days left. Okay, so it's very important for you to know. If you don't ask now for the beca Ministerio de Educación, you won't get the possibility to have the beca. And here you have the link and you have the information here. And for those, we know that you don't know if you are admitted or not, but you have to request for the scholarship, and then they will see whatever university you are finally going to enroll, okay? And for those coming from abroad, unfortunately, we don't have any scholarship for foreign students, so it's very important that you come from your own country scholarships. Here, you won't find any financial help in the UPC for you, okay? Oh, bueno. Okay. In fact, it was everything I wanted to tell, but here you will find, sorry, I don't know what they did.
That is last.
Okay, yes. It's just where to find us. So here you can find where how to contact us. If you come here to the B3 building, to our secretariat, please ask for a prior appointment because it's compulsory. Or if otherwise you can contact by email or by telephone. You have also secretariat email, mobility email, and also internships. So if you want any specific information about these subjects, please contact us. Okay. So from my part, it's all. I give back the.
Yes. Well, I think this is still working. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now it's time for questions. If you have any question, now is the time. I don't know. Maybe people online. I must tell you that in September we have 40 open places, and in February 20 open places. And this year we have already admitted like 16, 17 students, but we have 20 more waiting. Waiting means that they are uploading documents, doing the procedure, blah, blah, blah. So at the end, we have a total of 37 students now for September. Some of them will not finish, some of them will not admit it because they are coming with different bachelor degrees very far away from electronics. But well, just for your information, okay.